Hello, everyone. We just finished reading the epilogue together, and I asked the group if they wanted to have a final vlog now that we have fully completed the Dragon Age Season 3 campaign and the whole trilogy. So yes, we are available now to discuss and talk.
Oh my good lord.
About my shame points. Yes.
Shame
points.
Those are going to carry over. Like,
That will carry over.
You
Athenaeum.
really make sure to spend those points, okay?
I'd like to spend a shame point.
They're
You gotta-
pre-rolled.
Gotta come up with a shame shop. So,
A shame shop.
They can
That
spend
lets
5.
you retcon new things into the game.
Yeah, so they can choose to spend all their shame points to get an IP improvements.
Mhm.
one get out of death free card.
Yep.
That'll probably cost multiple shame points.
Yeah.
We'll get a
like
currency
everyone.
going.
Anyway.
Yeah. Everything ended on a pretty good note. I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Surprised, because it's Dragon Age. Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you become gods,
Yeah.
how do you make it not go preferable to you at least?
Yeah. How will it not go
Fair.
good in your way, in our way anyway? So
We could have gone insane. Turns out that the Golden City is filled with uranium,
Yeah.
as we all can.
Yeah.
It's all radioactive. and
Look,
we're
that's
just-
like 200-300 years from now. It just takes longer to affect gods.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. Because we were demigods at the time, so we kind of had that little initial protective barrier.
I mean, there's still some slow problems, like elves still have some issues in Tevinter. There's an Orthodox and Orthodox hewn.
nah.
Yeah, there's some small issues here and there, but everything else is all good.
Nah, no issues. Everything's fine. No problem. All right, guys. That's how humans work.
Just put a rug over it. It's fine.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Come on, kind of
Like,
Put a
don't
Band-Aid on it.
acknowledge it. It's not real. Duh.
Yeah, done. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that I felt has been a problem or an issue, at least in the canon Dragon Age, I kind of wanted to just fix and say, we fixed this in a satisfied way, but that doesn't mean that other problems will not arise in the future, especially in 50 years' time, So it looks like mages and Templars no longer have the lyrium addiction problem.
Whoop.
The dwarves have regained their taigs, which is huge.
They need to populate them, but
Yeah, the Darkspawn are a legit new race in Thedas. The Scaled Ones have been reintroduced as a new race in Thedas. So that's a huge thing.
The Asari are now a new race in Thedas.
The Asari are kind of a new race in Thedas. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
eventually the Asari are going to overpopulate everyone.
it's
as they just,
pretty much-
take over.
Yeah, Dragon Age pretty much went from a dark fantasy to now like a normal fantasy setting.
Yes,
now
it's
with
a
all
high
the
fantasy
good
now.
stuff.
Yeah.
High fantasy, yeah, definitely.
Dwarves might eventually become mages themselves, naturally. So, and then we have a whole new thing of vegan magic. There's the vegan magic too that's
Yep.
being introduced
Yeah,
by...
and then like technology is also going to be moving at about the same rate
Yeah.
as magic, so that's going to
Yeah.
be pretty interesting in of itself.
I think we are coming into a steampunkish type of technology. We have
Eberron.
airships now, so yeah, I feel like very much. I think we're gonna be more into the Eberron realm of technology.
At least,
So
5, we're on, pretty much. The more high fantasy technological-esque spending,
yeah.
If we're going steampunk, I need a steampunk hat with gears on it. So,
A steampunk pipe.
So all I'm hearing is the unpublished season 4 is going to be Terminator, is what I'm hearing. They got robots.
that's
You can
true.
go back in
Leon invents Skynet.
Oh.
I mean,
And-
what's more dangerous than
And that's the loop. That's why the time travel happened in the first place, because Flemeth went back and had to do the thing. That's how it all loops together. It works, guys. It works.
So
It just cuts back to like the 20 years ago scene from like season 1 with Maximilian, like talking to the children. And their robot appears. Are you Maximilian Sunworth?
Come with me if you want to live.
And it's like, we need to get you to switch dimensions and go to another timeline so that timeline is saved from being destroyed from the original timeline. And then Maximilian's just like,
What? What? Huh?
Are you a
there'll be
demon? Can I
one
stab you? It's okay for me to stab you.
There'll eventually be one robot who eventually tries to save Maximilian and everyone else. Anyway.
Would Maximilian take help from a robot? Ethical questions.
Ooh, ethical questions.
David, that's one for you to answer.
Can I just say, I can't believe that Archon Radonus is still dicking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did kind of fail that side quest.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to get a whole lot of it asking for it in the epilogue.
Well, I did have original plans early on for Archon Radonus to reappear again, but a lot of it was also due to time constraints. Like some sessions, as I said, I had to delete because
we fucking talked out our asses and shit.
No, it's not a bad thing. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just keep this in my back pocket. Who knows? Archon Radonus might show up at some point.
It's always good to keep your cards hidden sometimes. Just be like,
I mean, if for like, you know, a possible future stuff, like for problems, it could be like, you know, maybe our donors that like has a secret school of blood magic now, and they're like doing crazy shenanigans going down. Maybe Darkspawn, like while the threat has been eradicated, there might be some leftovers. Who knows?
Amazing idea. Archon Radonus is Hannah Navarra.
Dun dun dun.
That's really
Hannah the
funny.
whole time.
Oh no!
that's how he.
Oh no!
And we can't
Like the
kill
evil
him
take
because.
over the world plots revealed at a concert.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we can't even fight him because Hannah Navarra is such a popular figure. We would get instant public outrage. He's won.
He's one.
As we're
He's
all
like the
wearing
bad guys
his
from
merch.
Lethal Weapon 2, diplomatic immunity.
I mean, that's a good point. Hannah Montana is all about secret identity and living, you know, having a alter ego. So
So that means our subplot is we have to become a rival idol and then have a battle out. So
We form our own band.
Yeah, we form our own boy
we gotta
band.
figure out if we're doing 5 one-man acts, or like just spread it out, or doing one solid band.
No,
like,
we
gotta
recruit Darren. We recruit Darren to do all of that.
Yeah, it's like Archon
our
Radonus builds his band,
Yeah.
we have our band, and we have like the first ever battle of the bands in Thetis.
So which of the Guardians is Justin Timberlake then? that ends up, you know, branching off and doing their own thing. But
we'll have to fight for that one.
Who knows?
I feel like anime boy Tyrion would be to Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
So also
I mean,
Leon
it's
like secrets and blood mage and shit. So like I could see Leon doing it too.
Or Leon's the secret spy for Hannah Radonus.
Radonus.
Dare you?
I trusted you.
Come on, blood mages gotta stick together.
The betrayal.
The betrayal. Yeah, we've got
Completely
everything.
unexpected betrayal. How could you?
We've got
What a
heartache with Tyrion. We've got betrayal with Leon, and then we've got like really good band. Everything.
You were supposed to be my friend, not go with her.
You were supposed to be the chosen one. You were supposed.
You were
It was
supposed
said that
to
you
be
would
the one
destroy
that
Hannah Navarra, not
colonized.
join her.
I'm sorry, tritones are just too appealing.
No.
And I'm sorry that I have to murder you.
God damn.
Oh, I like the Bachelorette at the very end.
Yeah, I'm glad we at
Yeah.
least got a nod to it because we did want to do it, just time got in the way.
Yeah.
Of course, it had to be ginger because.
Fucking
I'm the
heart.
superior hair color. Everyone knows this.
In the future, there's
You would
going to be
say that.
concentration camps in Thetis where they're just dyeing people's hair.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Because we all know, like, we're the gods, but the real god is just racist against non-gingers. Like, that's pretty much it. He's Harris. Much it. So you know.
Hairism. Then we can get into heresy.
Virgin.
We brought it full circle.
Yes. Yes. Sam, please do that please do what I requested.
Oh yeah,
in the chat when we do the crossover. So that would be so funny and hilarious.
So question, did the random like 15-minute thing I just wrote for Dan the Man like day before the deadline, that's fully canon now, right?
I haven't. Do you want it? See, that's the thing. I kind of recorded it because I was like, I'm not sure if I will, but it's so fun. I might as well add it in. So
yes,
I feel like it can be.
I mean, I'd be fine with it being canon. I don't think I'd be able to come back as Dan the Man for the campaign though, if my schedule after we're done with this.
Yeah.
Well,
please tell me that Dan the Man. Yeah, he's not only the NPC, but he's like, the lone wanderer, super powered, like amazing guy who's been wandering the Athenaeum books for like centuries, eons now. He's like mastered everything.
I just want to get back to my nephew's birthday party.
Yeah.
But yeah, legitimately, like, I asked Hark if he'd want an epilogue from Dan the Man, and he was like, please give me an epilogue. I was like, okay, let me think. Because legitimately, Dan the Man was like an in-the-moment creation that I really didn't plan to do much else with. So I was like, I really don't know anything about Harry Potter. Nothing against it. I just haven't spent a lot of time with it outside the 7 books when I read them back in like grade school. So I was like, okay, let me think of what I could do. Everyone was joking about how Dan the Man could be a legacy character. So let me just write something really stupid that would give a reason for him to be an Athenaeum.
No, it was good, man.
Yeah, we'll see if we ever see him again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but definitely, unless it were only one session, I don't think I could come back for Dan.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily. I'm sure that I can drive Dan the Man if needs be.
I mean, all 5 of us did it. At least some of us did, and I think, I don't know, managed. Maybe.
All 5 of us come back to be Dan the Man.
Yes, we all have trade duties.
We are a conglomerate now.
Yeah, if we don't all say the same word at the same time, then Dan doesn't say it. So like we have to make it in the same.
We're playing like 5 different like.
He's the complete
like,
unionized
emotions.
Character.
Yeah, we're all playing 5 different like emotions of sorts or like personalities inside Dan the Man's head.
So basically, I'll just have a mini campaign, which is essentially Inside Out in Dan the Man's head.
Yep, that's it.
The 5 of you will be the different like emotions in his head.
Oh shoot! Which emotion do we get to be then?
We'll see.
The one requirement is everyone has to talk white boy hood lingo the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll need to write up a dictionary for it, so we all have the same SOP to go under. Yeah.
I like how everyone's story came to a peaceful resolution.
Yeah.
We'll
for the most part.
300 years from now if Rousseau gets tired of babysitting us. Putting out the fires, like, no, you can't just start a war.
You best hope I'm not. All I'm saying is I am Domain of Destruction.
Yeah,
that's a very like neutral, just wipe the field thing.
Yeah, that's.
Let's start over.
I feel like if any god is going to be the one who's like, okay, you're not a god anymore, bye, it's going to be the god of destruction. So,
pretty much.
Oh, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. We could have like a weakest link show.
Another game show.
Where we vote off the gods. Vote off the 5 gods.
Oh, Survivor, but for gods.
Like,
God damn. Last week on the Golden City.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Survival of the gods.
It's basically Big Brother in the Golden Palace.
So what you're saying is Thetis becomes, instead of Dragon Age, it becomes Dragon Game. So it's all just game shows.
Yes. Game of Dragons.
Game of Dragons.
We're 5 gods must battle over the Golden City's lands in this path.
Yes.
So let's see, it goes Dragon Age, Age of Myth, and then Age of Games.
Yes, Age of Games.
And then Age of Games 1, Age of Games 2, Age of Games 2.73, the Revengeance, Age of Games 3, Age of Games 3.5, the Return of the Revengeance.
Age of Games, the pre-sequel.
Age of Games Season 9, how do they keep making new seasons for this?
Age of Games Season 347, we gave up after Season 312.
People still keep watching it though.
We just call it the Edge of Games now. No seasons.
There are no seasons.
Anything else?
Thanks for writing 13 pages.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
You're
Very good.
welcome.
Yeah.
Anyone got any
Yeah.
like favorite moments on the campaign they want to go back to before we close out for the last time? Because I've got several.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Oh,
I gotta say, the carnival demon becoming a real thing was like
Yeah.
top tier.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
hell yeah.
I
That
enjoy
was
how
awesome.
one-off things just sort of weave their way into the campaign.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, the carnival demon. Oh wait, it's a thing in your world. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Like crew juice.
And just Daretham just like going up. Out of character, I was giggling, but in character, because I'm like, come the fuck.
I love the
Fine.
I love the confession session.
Oh yeah.
Where we
The
all-
Yeah.
confessions were so
Yeah,
nice.
just-
I
I-
like that.
I'm sorry, I'm still gonna have to. My favorite one is when with Leon when he opens the box and then there's like me and Daretham just go like Daretham sighs, I clap That's because of what Leon did.
No, I enjoyed everyone's confessionals.
Yeah.
I loved Daretham's right after he had the revelation about Leon, where he had like the full mental breakdown about like, oh, I've done helped an old guy.
Yep, that was me just like going, hey, so people who think like I'm being unreasonable here, yes, Daretham is being unreasonable, but also, and I gotta say that whole moment of the Leon reveal, and as soon as I heard that, I was like, I want to be there, 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 and then getting to like have Daretham regress a little bit and do the whole choking. I wish we would have played it more, but still, that moment was awesome to do.
Yeah.
It was I enjoyed the high stakes moments there. There was a
Yeah,
lot
that's
going
right.
on. Though,
Yeah, the Tyrion versus Pasha. Which got
Yeah.
that was
Oh, that was
the
such a
heat.
good one.
The heated argument.
I think you could even almost pinpoint the part where it starts to devolve into just not listening and just mouthing, and it's really cool to like even watch that. Like, there it is.
Stops the Calissa that we managed to do that.
Also on a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I like the Chi Isles. Everyone got their like little circle in there with the trial and facing the water, the ocean, everything else that goes into there.
Yeah, I'll say I have two related to sort of Rousseau. First was obviously again choking. Me and Rousseau's confrontation. Yes, it's a theme with
Dominic
Daretham.
just loves the thought choking.
Yeah,
yes.
Garrett guessed that Daretham thing now. We should add God of choking to his part.
God of bondage.
Yep, pretty much.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's his default move. That's what he does whenever he just can't think of anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Daretham, why are all of your followers wearing latex?
Don't
Oh my
question it.
God.
Don't question it. I don't know what got them on that. It's not my fault. Not my fault.
maybe it's because all
Meanwhile,
I-
in a bush, Pasha just like, my work is done.
I don't know what they did.
Tyrion just shakes his head. This goes against my domain of freedom by just having them. I don't know.
It's consensual as far as I know.
Oh.
I love the origins.
But yeah, so that moment, and then also
the origins.
Wait, origins? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The origin stories.
The origin stories were freaking
Yeah.
pretty dope. And the whole combinations of eventually like Tyrion and Leon and Dareth and Rousseau and Pasha had theirs, like split in their own realms. That was
Killing Rousseau's mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
It fucked up everything, but I still don't regret it.
Or it
Well,
made
yeah.
everything a little spicier.
Like I said, the only thing that was a little annoying was having to like rewrite like half a page of like origin
Ouch.
story stuff, but
Ouch.
it was fun.
yeah.
Also, on another Rousseau note, Rousseau's wedding or the proposal specifically. That was
that
so
was
awesome.
really dope. Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, my my favorite Tyrion moment was probably him in Amaran's estate, where he finally had like the full breakdown of how he just really couldn't, how he was saying one thing then doing something different, like the full revelation that he had right there.
Yeah. It's the mental breakdown, man. That's sort of the semi-goal.
And then go ahead.
To be honest, if there's one thing I could have changed, I wouldn't have changed him choosing rolling. I would have stayed with the whole like I'm gonna let the dice decide. I'll let fate decide because I think that's see what his heart has to go for. But yeah, that's. The only side, the Tyrion he had 4 sessions of mental breakdown, which was just amazing. But I
like
think
community service.
yeah, he had to do stuff. I think my favorite Leon moment was with near the end when he met his parents as ghosts.
Mm.
And how and that was oof. That was the big oof.
The big oof, yeah.
Oh,
The big
so
oof,
good.
like your parents were like, "Yeah, we have our son now," and you're like,
Thanks for being our storage unit.
Oh yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I couldn't have made it happy for everybody. I had to
Yeah,
twist the knife in a couple people. Yes.
I think everyone's story there was something. At least some of us had something that just ended up pretty like it didn't go well. At certain points.
I like the triple crit that Russo did on the big bad.
Yeah. He didn't have very much hit points left. And he had the most hit points of all of the.
Yeah.
He had the most hit points and the most resistant of all of them, and he still took him down to very, very little health.
I mean, kind of hard to really stack against like 80 damage a turn.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say some of my favorite Pasha moments was the Andrea Pasha debate when we first got to Orlais.
Yep.
I love that one too. That was so good.
I'm not saying this one because I was in it, but like the Russo Pasha scene right before Tevinter, like that evolved in like such a beautiful way that I wasn't intending for it to go.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I really liked how Detham and Pasha's relationship ended up because that was not a friendship I ever foresaw.
Me neither. The
so the fact that
Darkspawn
they
and the
were like-
Kunari. Like, no.
They were like, we're philosophy buddies. Fist pump.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And
Interesting.
this is just like a personal thing. My favorite moment of this campaign was making Samantha cry. That's basically.
Oh.
That sounds awful, but I
Yeah.
like making people laugh. So when I can make people cry, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just seeing during the dandelion scene, looking up and seeing poor Samantha's face, I was yes. Your tears fulfill me. Give me them.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point because in season 2, Samantha had made me tear up several times. So the fact that you can do that to her is also awesome.
Yeah.
Justice.
Nice.
I enjoy how Pasha stayed within the confines of the rules of the Qun throughout the campaign. I enjoy how Callista was able to integrate the rules and guide her character moments based off of them. It was a great dynamic between like the party who was like freedom, let's do what we want, and then Pasha being like, no, Qun. So it was
By the book. By the
like-
Qun. Qun.
it
That's
Oh yeah, go ahead.
the only thing I was gonna accent to that was that kind of highlighted how our party worked because you had like Tyrion and Leon that were like the bigger advocates for like let me have independence, let me do freedom. Then Daretham and Pasha were pretty much like, no, we need rules. This is what I'm used to. It was like a cultural thing that they were just stuck in.
Yeah.
and were more rigid. Then Russo was kind of the middle between the two of them, where it's like, I get what you're both saying, but there's flaws, but I really don't care enough to debate you.
Yeah. No, like again, the great thing about this is that the power dynamic overall was very soothing. It's fit with most of the characters. We had the different ideals and views, and it wasn't just like we all agreed with each other. There were arguments. There were things we had issues
There were
with.
fucking arguments.
Yeah, they were fucking arguments. What I'm saying, I was the brunt of that.
Oh, speaking of that, one thing, blood money. That moment. Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Look,
Oh.
if Russo never stepped up as a leader, the one thing he did do was call out his fellow teammates pretty often.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
If we did not have Rousseau, we would have been fucked.
No.
Okay.
I liked I liked everyone against Tyrion. At least, where like everyone was like, your views are idiotic. It's like, well, no, because of this, my past, and then all bites him in the ass of that after Amron dies, and now he's like, yep, you were all right, and I was wrong, and you didn't even end.
No shit, Sherlock.
That was the great moment of like realization. Like I was talking to myself at some point about this, where the reason no one stopped me because they all knew what was going to happen. And no one said anything because they couldn't change my mind. Which was amazing. Ooh.
Oh, I do have a question for you, Callista. Could you give us the list that was making Pasha go one way or the other in terms of queuing and farm?
That would be great.
Do I have that?
Or at least like give us some of the key points, because I'm really curious to know what the axes was.
Oh god, I'm trying to go off my memory here, and my memory is like, no.
Could you just tell us tick points that made you go one way or the other?
Okay, let me think. Because to be perfectly honest, this was something I liked, where Detham and Tyrion were like logic and reason, and Pasha was like, no, reject these things. And then Leon's coming at it with like emotions, and she's like, I can buy into that. So like it was like lots of very small interactions that you would probably be kind of like, really? That? Like just like a word said here, a look there, and she'd kind of be like, okay, now I'm more Talvashoth, I'm more leaving the Qun. And it's, oh no, they said this, so I'm now slightly more Kunari. I think one of the big remaining Kunari things was Tyrion. Just
not surprised.
That was like a plus 100 Kunari.
Yeah,
I agree. No, I will be honest, because I knew like Tyrion and Pasha would be one of the two characters they will never get along with each other from the start of the campaign. Like that was my prediction, and it's sort of grown better, I'd say, but it's still like, I think there's still that rift.
They're amicable, but they are like utterly on like diametrically opposed sides.
I was gonna say, from Pasha's perspective, she hates Tyrion.
Oh yeah.
Like when Tyrion came up to her at the end and was like, "It was really good journeying with you." The reason why she was so kind of like, okay.
Yeah, because you paid me.
She hated him, but she was like, why are you saying it's been good? It hasn't been good. I don't like you.
Because no, Tyrion is a little bit on the side of like, he doesn't hate you, he's just more like, I respect I respect you to a certain degree. It's just, yeah. So that was at least my view with him. But I knew from the start that Tyrion and Pasha will never get along.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we talk a lot.
I'm really curious. What was Pasha's, at least with the main party members, final like opinion of each one? Because we haven't really like heard too much from like her opinion on the other people.
Okay.
Besides hates Tyrion.
I think she has kind of like a brotherly relationship with Detham.
Okay.
She kind of looks on him like, you are like one of my pod mates. Like, We discuss philosophy, we have disagreements, but it's a-okay.
Mm.
With Leon, I think she's kind of like, you're a surrogate son now. And you make decisions I don't like, but that's okay. I'm just gonna ignore them. You do you. Give me the recipe for herring pie, please. With Russo, that's an odd one because I see their relationship as having really dissolved, especially towards the latter half of the campaign. I see it really having gone from like mother-son bond to acquaintances. And so I kind of think Pasha's, I don't necessarily think she has an opinion of Russo, but I think her entire thing is that life has disappointed Russo. And I have been one of those disappointments, and I know this. So I'm gonna be here if he needs me, but I'm not necessarily going to, pop round to his house for sugar and be like, hey, let me check up on you. She's just kind of like, I'm going to be here if he wants me, but otherwise I'm generally just going to let him do what he's got to do. That's kind of how I see it.
Would you say that it's a transition from a mother-son like mothering to a mother with like an adult child? Like, hey, you're now grown up, you can make your own decisions, I'm letting you do your thing? Or is it like the mother-son relationship is totally dissolved?
I don't know, because Pasha will always love Russo. She will always love him, but I think she's also kind of like, he doesn't really want my love. Because if you remember, when Pasha said, I love you, Russo, Russo's response was, you're not selfish for feeling that way. He never once said, I love you back. So I think she's very aware of like, I think I view him as a son, but he maybe views me as like one-time caregiver, not necessarily surrogate mother figure. So she's just kind of like, I'll let him do his thing.
That's a little bit warped of an interpretation because that came after, do you find me selfish for loving you?
Fair.
What were you going to say, Hark, before we went on to the whole Pasha tangent?
What I was going to ask was, since the next time we're officially going to see our characters again is going to be during the Athenaeum crossover, my question is, which of the new characters are you most looking forward to interacting with in the Athenaeum, amongst the Athenaeum characters?
Remind myself who's there again.
So we have, I can run through them really quickly. So we have Thistle, who is playing Black Powder, which is a pirate.
Right.
A very eloquent, deceiving pirate.
Joe, who's playing Sam,
Sam
noir
Bennett,
detective.
who's the detective. We have Star, who is played by Micah, who is the pop singer, magical, fairy-like creature. We have Frankie, who is kind of a Frankenstein like weapon, like war weapon, but sentient, and basically fell in love with his creator. And then we have Tori, who is this basically your angsty, creepy teenager from the horror genre, from a horror genre movie. And then we have Lonick, who is the very random video game character. Did I miss anyone?
No, that's everyone.
I think that's all six.
All six, yeah.
That's all six.
I mean, we are going to have to at least have one person double up when we do get to the crossover, simply because there's 5 of us, 6 of them, like HP had to do for us.
But without even worrying about that, like, which one just gut reaction?
I will say, at least for me, I want to talk to Black Powder, because that is an evil character who deals in lies, and I deal in seeing through lies and being a good character. I'm really fucking curious to interact with Black Powder. Also, probably to do a second, because we might be doing 2 Black Powder, and then probably Sam, I want to say.
Sam Bennett.
Because I think it'd be very interesting to get his perspective on all the bullshit that's happened. So, yeah, I'd say probably Black Powder and Sam.
Okay.
I'm gonna say clearly the best character out of all of them, Lonic, who is played by someone fabulous and wonderful. Go support my boyfriend. Support
Totally
him.
not biased here. It's totally unbiased review from an unbiased reviewer.
What's your second choice?
My second choice would be Tori, just because she's an angsty teen, and apparently Pasha is worshipped by angsty teens.
That's-
So
There
she's
you
just
go.
like, one of my followers has arrived.
I don't even need a bush this time. Hey.
On the flip side of Dominic, I sort of want to talk to Black Powder to get up the shenanigans, because that
No.
secrets
No.
Or
domain,
the God of Secrets.
No.
Yep.
yeah, needs little exercising every once in a
No.
while. I think eloquent pirate would be a fun shenanigan to get up to. Also Lonic, because I had a lot of fun just interviewing him. That was
Again, we need you to run a retro video game campaign someday. I don't know when, but it has to happen.
yeah, and then we can make a
You do it after mine.
shame
Maybe you
points.
do it after mine. Yeah.
I have so many doctorates.
I gotta say, the energy coming off of you and Adam in that interview was so perfect.
It was amazing. I loved it.
Chaos.
I guess if I were to pick with Russo, me as a player, I would love to interact with Sam, because I'm a big history phobe of like the late 1800s through like the mid 1900s. Like, I do a lot of studying for that. All of my historical firearms are from that period. It's something I invest a lot of time into. I even read the Treaty of Versailles in its entirety just in my free time, because I just enjoy the subject matter. But Russo as a character, I don't see that working. Logistically, I feel like who Russo would interact with would probably be Frankie, simply because of it's similar damage and like the same kind of artificialness. Like, they were both kind of created. I feel that is a very similar point. And then I feel like Star, because God of Fashion, we got to get the joke somewhere.
Not to mention,
Stay
we're
fabulous.
all going to be required to sing at some point. So everyone, make sure to work on that, because like Micah's gonna get us all to do it. So
Yeah. It's
We've got to get the band together to fight Hannah
That's
Navarro.
true.
Hannah Navarro
true.
is the crossover villain.
Yes.
We have to form a band to fight her.
Anyway, as for at least for me, for Tyrion specifically, I think Frank would be interesting, since due to he's sort of like a creatures with a master. That dynamic of like, oh, I do love my master, and Tyrion is like, why? How? Because he's curious, because he never experienced death with Amron, so he's like curious to get that side.
He has a thing for doctors. So,
and there you go. That could, and
so-
true. So that ties with that also. Could help.
From another universe, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Once again, all these people are flocking to Tyrion. Once again.
Come to me, my children of no.
And he will romance none of them.
Yeah.
Will romance none of them.
I am.
He is the one RPG player who's like, fuck all you, I'm not gonna romance anyone
He's like the
else.
one
I've done
character
it,
from
and
the
I've
dating
done
sim
it.
with like the impossible route that never got programmed in.
Yeah. I've done it. My first Dragon Age playthrough of Origins. I never romanced anyone.
And there you go. There
So
you go.
it's like me. In
go.
second person, I don't see much with Tyrion, to be honest, at the moment. So I think I'm just gonna go with Frank, because Tyrion's a person of actually I could technically see a little bit with Sam, because Sam is like a PI. He tries to work for helping with people, and while he
There you
does
go.
work for the law, he sort of tries to more go for trying to help others and all that. And Tyrion sort of is like, he's going for the route of, all right, freedom is good. I am the god of freedom. I do want to go free, but I do feel like some laws could be helpful to people. So maybe there's a connection. Also, because I did interview Sam, and Sam was great with that entire thing we did. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah. So
Laws are good.
There.
What character growth?
Considering we had everyone do favorite moments, but you didn't do one, Hart, did you have like one or two out of the campaign?
Yeah.
I mean, I was agreeing with a lot of I was agreeing with a lot of the things people said, and I think the last time I said I really enjoyed the Tirashan because that was not a pre-planned part of the campaign. That sort of just organically became a thing. So I liked the whole sequence of the whole Tirashan forest. But I mean, I guess other than that, another one that I guess wasn't mentioned. I mean, anything that I ended up creating a sneak preview of were like some highlights that I really enjoyed. Oh, it was the part where I edited in Adele, I think, into a moment when Pasha was like trying to look behind the bush, and
Yeah.
I superimposed Rosie and Leon onto the SNL like scene. I think that was one of my favorite moments. It was really quick. But,
Oh yeah, the hello from inside this bush.
yeah, from inside this bush. Yeah.
Oh, also on a similar note, we can never forget the majesty that is sexy children.
Yes, there we go. Yes,
God damn you,
that
Brandon.
was a highlight from Brandon.
Yep,
Yes.
the completely PG movie rated children.
Completely PJ, movie-rated children who bends over to pick up a ball
children.
completely normally
Not-
in every
not
way,
children,
not at all sexually.
The
Yes.
movie is called Four Normal Children in an Absolutely Normal Playground.
Yes.
You will forever be shamed, Brandon, and we still love you for it.
I have there is one question, but I feel like it could be a little bit on favoritism side. What was your favorite NPC that you created
And from this campaign?
this campaign? Yeah.
I mean, I have to go with Pyrus. Like, as soon as I came
Fair.
up with Pyrus and I
Fair.
thought about what I feel like when I did him for the very first time, in his first scene, the reaction from you was pretty much the reaction I had when I was like writing it. So I was like, okay, good. Like, this actually worked as a character. I'm glad they liked him. So,
Oh my god, imagine if we have all just been like, talking about that's stupid. Like, just
Yeah.
missed it right away.
Man.
then I'm like, oh, well,
Oh.
I guess that was a miss for me.
That would be sad if we actually did that. Thankfully, we didn't.
Yeah,
And-
I'm glad we didn't. But
Mr. Bun, Pyrus, best couple.
yep, hands down.
Yeah.
Couple of the millennia.
I think the character that I wish I was able to utilize more, and I felt that there was some opportunities there, but I just wasn't able to like figure out what else to do with the character, were Mai and Tai, because I just felt like having two conjoined twins, I felt would have just been very interesting. They might have had some interesting perspectives, but there were just never like moments, because I'm
Yeah.
sure that some of the things that they deal with, obviously, which is something that I'm sure they've used to by now, is the fact that they're always together, and so it's hard to have privacy, or what is dating like when you are conjoined twins, because
Yeah.
in real life, conjoined twins, I imagine, do date to however they can. I imagine they can. So I thought that would have been a really fascinating thing to look into, but just the opportunity just never arose to go deeper into that.
Yeah, that was kind of the side effect of like the carnival in general. Like, because it was the hub, we really ended up not spending a whole heck of a lot of time with it.
Yeah, and there were quite a lot of NPCs around, so
Yeah.
it's
But and I did that on purpose because I wanted to, because the party NPCs for you all were very few, like fewer than in the other campaigns, and so because you didn't have as many party NPCs, I added a little bit more in the hub,
yeah.
and you had the option. I mean, that was the whole idea. Is I gave you options, and I just saw who connected and decided to role play with who. Like Athon, I didn't even consider to play as much of a role at all. I just figured somebody probably has to deal with the animals, so I'll just throw a character in there. And he ended up playing a much larger role than I intended. So
I enjoyed the variety of choices, and I did like the smaller party NPCs, because that made, like, who are we going to take for this a lot easier.
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, I will say, this is just a personal thing for me. I really wish that Garrison had not died. I really wish we
I did too.
had Garrison the whole time, especially for the Leon stuff going on, like having all that shit happen, plus Daretham, plus like it would have been cool.
Oh, so my original plan when I first learned that Garrison was going to join us, I was like, well, I'm going to kill him with kindness. I'm going to spend a lot of time just talking to him, and then we just had no time, which was fine.
He got killed off, unfortunately, which happened.
I mean, if you add up all of Sir Garrison's screen time, he really only had about like 2 sessions worth of material, like tops, if that.
Yeah.
When I was editing session 24, I was sort of I was a little like disappointed in myself, because I thought I missed a really great opportunity for when Leon was talking with his parents, and you know how like Rosie jumped to defend him. I thought it would have been really awesome if in that moment, like, Sir Garrison appeared and was like, hey, like, you leave Leon alone, like, actually kind of dissing the parents, because this is, and maybe even like realize what happened, like what really happened when they had an altercation, because the canon was your parents totally instigated the whole thing. Like, they were the ones who fired first, and Sir Garrison, for all intents and purposes, did act in self-defense, but part of him did kind of want them to force his hand so he could kill them. So I mean, so it wasn't like he wasn't totally innocent in that either. But I thought it would have been a really awesome moment if Sir Garrison was the one who really like came in and tried to defend Leon in that moment. And I was like,
Sir Garrison would have been so interesting of a party member had he not died off so early, because he wasn't really going to be like a happy-go-lucky kind of person or be like friendly to everyone. I mean, the vibe I got from him was that Sir Garrison's like, he's a dick, but he's your dick. Like, he acts like a jerk, but he's doing it from a good place, and he has problems and doesn't really communicate it all that well.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I personally would have loved to have seen with Garrison, and obviously it's just my character standpoint, but Daretham is also a mage, and is also a darkspawn. So, like, having that be, like, having Garrison realize that and be like, wait, what? Like, go, okay, Leon's a problem, blood mage, but
this is a much more. This is a big problem. I mean, look, it's a. Sometimes you do a hit and miss. You make some mistakes over time. It happens. And also, like, at least for me, at least we did have one character die. Party member, not like sad he had to die, but also it was like it sort of makes the world a little bit more real to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So
somebody needed to die in that scene, and the options were Sir Garrison or, Darren or Rosie or Valor. Like, it was one of the other party NPCs or Nathan, and I was like, I had to choose the least of the evils, the least of all the evils, and I kind of have to choose Garrison.
All of those other deaths would have been extremely interesting in the round, right, too, on how they would have rippled.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if it were me, I would have just fucking rolled. Just been like, okay, whoever picks, they're dead.
That's true.
Yeah,
like,
random. That's
Rosie. Sorry, Theoben. Dodge's dead.
I imagine if Darren died, that would have been a breakdown for
Darren. Yeah, I could see Darren dying.
If Darren died, that would have been really interesting for Daretham. Yeah. Because I don't think with the cure he would have had a breakdown. Like, he would have, but it wouldn't have been like a complete deconstruction. However, he definitely would not have ended up as happy as he was, and I don't think he would have become a god.
Also, that was when Tyrion was also trying to romance.
Yeah, I was also trying to romance her, and then clutches got taken away.
You had no chance ever.
No.
Oh, another thing, I do wish that we would have had a chance to interact with, at the very least, Logan and David, and have like the
Yeah.
season 1
I would
characters
have
come
wanted
back.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Even if we didn't,
Shali as well.
even if we didn't get the mages, like just having Logan and David there because they were like part of session 1 or the
Yeah.
recap session. I mean, Maximilian was always my favorite character, and David was my favorite player, so there was that. But also, just like I would have loved to have seen our characters
Yeah.
interact with them. So
Yeah, I would have preferred that over. It did feel awkward, but there wasn't anywhere around it of Jody being the surrogate for Maximilian.
Yeah, it makes
in that
sense.
scene. It made sense, but like I really would have wanted to see Kimberly and David just kind of duke it out.
plus, be like, "Hi, I'm a Darkspawn. Don't kill me, please. I'm also a god."
Yeah.
yeah.
But, unfortunately, like real life and, real life constraints.
Yeah, came and shut them out. Yeah.
One alternate thing that would have been really cool is if we didn't run into Corypheus as early as we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if he showed up more, or like if we'd gotten a bit more about the Sidereals, that would have been really cool, because the whole campaign I felt like we were just kind of vaguely told, hey, these are the evil guys, go deal with them, and that's about all it really was.
That's very fair, yeah. Totally fair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like we had so much like plot stuff that would have been really cool with Cepheus as a character, because he was inhabiting Pasha's child's body, and then like he was Dartham's master.
Yeah. If I had a choice, then I would have thrown a totally different Sidereal at you when you were with the Black King. The problem was Cepheus himself was such an integral part of the Black King's story and backstory, and I knew that was a loop that I had told and promised Mecha a while ago back in season 2. You will resolve this with Cepheus personally at some point. So because I already had made that promise with Mecha, I was like, I have to put Cepheus in here with the ability of them to destroy him if that's what you all really wanted to do. Now, I could have made it so that he was indestructible, like not able to be defeated at that moment. But then I was like, well, that's going to be cheap too. So yeah, so that was like what ended up with that.
I mean, it was also kind of a rock and a hard place because, like, Cepheus at that point was related to 3 major characters. It was related to the Black King.
Yeah, so it was
To
like everyone
Pasha.
was kind of dogpiled on Corypheus.
And also was my master.
Yeah.
So, like, in some ways, me and the Black King kind of had, I don't know exactly the Black King's history there, but like we had similar rights there because we were both from Ancient Deventer and both hated him for various reasons. So yeah,
I want to imagine if Nathan had actually died that night.
if I hadn't woken up in time, or if I had not become a spirit healer, because I was actually about to become, I think, an arcane warrior at that time, but then I eventually decided on spirit healer.
Yeah, and I don't think he either would have died or would have been like injured heavily to the point where he couldn't do anything.
Or the
Leon
other,
would have
yeah,
died.
the locket being used and a party member dying.
Oh yeah,
That would have been an interesting conversation with Jody had that happened.
Oh yeah, by the way, your son died.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought he was.
Sorry.
I thought
the guy
he was.
who killed him is doing a community service though, so he's being punished.
But Tyrion would have, like, I think I played it well enough where Tyrion was like, and he entered like, I'm gonna murder those damn Sidereals. And if Nathan died, I think it would have had a different effect. I think at the epilogue possibly. Don't know what, but
I guess the natural question would be what was my plan if Leon did die in that moment. And I admit that I had surface thoughts. It was one of those things where I thought I'll give it a lot more thought if it actually happens, but at least have a few vague ideas. So one vague idea I had was, because he's Earthemiel, that he would jump into the closest tainted person, which would be Dartham. And it would be one of those things where Leon was stuck in Dartham's head, very similar to in Cyberpunk. It would be very Cyberpunk. So like Dartham would still be in control of his body, but maybe Leon would sometimes take over Dartham's body.
Like, please, can that be one of the alternate universes?
Becoming Johnny Silverhand of our game.
Yeah,
right. And then of course that would be very interesting role playing with Rosie when she finds this out. It's like, oh,
hey,
well, then
I got
two
Leon stuck in my
people.
head.
Yeah.
If we can like figure a way to dump him into like a blank body, we'll do that.
I'd like to see the dynamic between Darethum and now you've got Athumiel now got you in your body, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
You would have definitely heard a lot of his inner thoughts that he does not share with other people, and you had heard a lot about Athemiel, because I mean he's mostly accepted Leon as Leon. He's kind of like disassociated Leon with Athemiel. But if it's literally fucking Athemiel, he's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is not okay with me. I do not approve. I do not consent.
I could be your Mr. Bun.
Oh,
Oh.
an actual Mr. Bun.
Yeah.
Oh, Pasha, blood magic. That was a really cool moment that I forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So that is
do blood magic.
that is a loose end that will need to be tied, because Luke is without his special abilities right now, and will probably want that back. So,
Well, if he wants them, he can come and get them.
yeah.
Like,
Welcome
I'm a
to-
god now. Fight me.
So you actually wouldn't want to give them back.
Pasha wants them.
Okay.
Pasha's like, this is useful. This
Oh,
is handy.
Oh, how the
Interesting.
tables have
Oh,
turned.
how the tables have turned. Okay, I definitely want to see this role played out then. Because I was under the impression that Pasha would want to give him up, but apparently not. So, okay.
What was the moment, out of curiosity, when Pasha was like, magic, you know what? It is not horrendous. I can use it. Like, what was that moment?
I'm not entirely. I think maybe when she was electrocuting the oh, what's her face? What's her face in the Golden City? She pushed her in the water and was like,
The auger.
Yeah. She was like, before I drown you, I'm just gonna electrocute you a little bit. Like,
It
it was handy.
Ooh, useful.
Combined with Darethum's lessons, he's like, wait, if I did. Oh. You know what? Maybe it's not so bad. We can give it a shot. See how it works. I'm a god. Demons can't affect me. Let's try it.